Hello, 안녕하세요. I want to thank everyone for staying on. It's been a long day and it's not easy to sit down after lunch and listen through all the way until now. Okay, so the point is this session, this is the last session, so please bear with me. We are here to talk about how we can scale enterprise AI and drive impact faster through a modern AI center of excellence. So it's all about people today, right? Why is it important? You can see the statistics here. 94% of the CEO agree that AI agent could possibly provide equal, if not better, advice than human on business decisions, right? So that's quite amazing, 94% of the CEO. 25% of the enterprises that are doing generative AI today expect to deploy an AI agent within this year. 25% of those people working on Gen AI, right? And this number is expected to go up to 50% by 2027, right? So AI is here to stay, no question. We are in an AI revolution, right? But the fact remains very far from the reality, right? There is still a huge chasm, a huge gap between the vision and the reality. Consumerization of Gen AI is very different from operationalization of Gen AI in an enterprise, right? We agree with that. So just within 2 months, when ChatGPT was here last year, right, 200 million people are using it. That's huge. That's consumerism, right? But if you look at the stats itself, only 63% of the company thinks that, still feel that they don't have the capability to productionalize AI at the moment, especially Gen AI and agent, right? And these are the top 5 challenges that the company says. And you hear a lot about this today, right? Access to data is not easy, it's difficult. Quality of the data, we need to do preps and things like that. That's not readily available to everyone, right? And then the second one, of course, is like what I mentioned just now. There's never enough data scientists to work on the hard problems that we have. Okay. Third, operationalization, like the survey that we just did, 63% of them still think that they don't have the capability to operationalize AI, right? The trust issue is a big problem as well. Yesterday, we just met with a customer talking about AI and AI agent, and the CIO asked, how can I trust an agent giving the right answer to my customer? Right? So the trust, the visibility, the control is something that until today is still lacking. And you hear a lot about it today, right? With LLM mesh, with cost guard, with safeguard and things like that, and traceability. You are able to trace with a question, you are able to trace what the AI agent is doing. So this gives you visibility and this gives you trust in that agent. And finally, of course, the cost and the complexity. Another company asks us, when my end user or my customer is typing a question on the AI agent, how much does that cost? You don't know, right? You could be using a ChatGPT 4.0, which is very different from a Llama. So they want to know the cost to them, and they want to be able to control cost. So again, you can see today in the LLM mesh, we shield the connection of all the underlying foundation and your custom LLM from your application, and you can switch between, right? Depending on the balance of cost and performance. So these are all the issues that we are dealing with. Our mission in Dataiku is to accelerate the promise of AI to deliver greater impact, greater value, faster, and safer. And this requires the entire organization to collaborate, right? To explore, to experiment, to build, and then to expand and to embed AI into our day-to-day business processes and our business decision making. And not limiting this to a few data scientists to do it. Because again, there's not enough data scientists, right? And we can then free these data scientists to work on the more complex, the harder models, and that has the higher impact, and enable citizen data scientists to collaborate. Agreed? Right? So in order to achieve this, right, we know every company is going to be an AI company, right? If you're not an AI company today, you will be left behind. Just like the internet world, just like the cloud world, right? There are companies that are not on the internet. Look where they are now. They are no longer here. So every company is an AI company, right? So to be successful AI company is not just about the technology that you saw, which is fantastic, which is great, but it's also about you, the people, the processes, right? And a data culture that can succeed in this agentic era. So in order to achieve this, we need to enable all of our extraordinary people with AI, whether they are no-code, low-code, full-code people, from design to ops, from data prep to machine learning, right? In a very self-service manner, but also in a very governed, safe, controlled, and compliant environment, right? So everyone can participate in this AI value chain. So this requires change management, right? When we talk about people, culture, it's all about change management, about organizational transformation. You need to be enabled by a platform, a universal platform like Dataiku, but also a modern AI center of excellence, right? It doesn't grow organically. You need to manage, you need to corral around it, and turn innovation pipeline into data products itself, right? When we talk about data pipeline, this could be a table, a queries, an analytics model, for example, that can score, that can predict. It could be visualizations, right? It could be Gen AI prompts, LLM prompts and queries. It could be AI agent. These are all data products, right? We have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of pipeline. The idea of having a modern AI center of excellence is to be able to run through this innovation funnel fast, from POC to pilot to product to mission critical product and application fast. Company that does this fast will be the one that wins. Okay? So a successful CoE will need the following capabilities. The first, of course, executive sponsorship and commitment, right? To define the strategy, to set the guardrail, the governance, right? To align all the business unit and also all the functions around a vision and a strategy for the AI for the company. And also to set up programs and success metrics. You have heard from LG Chem and NEPES. They have done that, right? They have a governing body that sets the programs and the metrics for success. On the technology pillar, on the technology pillar, you need your engineer, your infrastructure team to set up and deploy a unified data platform within your data ecosystem, right? And then, on the people front, you will need to develop data proficiency and data competency in all your people, right? This includes including AI and data as part of your onboarding program when a new hire comes in. And also as part of your continuous learning and development program as well, right? we have seen company that has data and AI in their orientation program when a new hire comes in, where they introduce their strategy, they introduce what are the data set that is available in the data catalog, right, that you can use. These are the gold data that you can use, trusted, single source. And also, to sustain that effort, it's not a one-time effort. You train and then you forget about it, right? It's a culture, so you need to sustain that momentum. So you need a community as well, a supportive community that is not only inspiring and motivating, but also a fun community where you can share ideas and things like that, right? So this alone will also help you to attract more talent. Because if I know that this company has innovative idea, they invest in their people, and also they are very forward-thinking, of course, this is a company that I want to join, right? So you attract more talents into the organization as well with a CoE concept, right? So while you have the strategy, you have the infrastructure, you have the people, you also need to streamline your delivery processes, right? So that you can have a repeatable, proven process to operationalize your AI pipeline, right? And move your innovation very quickly from ideation to design, to build, to operationalize. And of course, one of the key differences with AI project is that you need to continuously monitor to make sure that it is still performing. There is model decay, there is data drift. So you might have to retrain the model, right, to keep it performing all the time. So you need to be able to have this process of running through this project very quickly and monitoring them. The question is, where do this capability sit, right? Without a CoE, each of the business function and business unit will try to build capabilities and will try to build projects themselves, right? It's very, very decentralized. And the challenge with this is that there's no knowledge sharing, there's no consistency, reusability, governance, and it becomes very hard to scale, right? And then a more common model is where you have a heavily centralized CoE team. This would be like your AI data team, your data science team, right? You may insert some business analysts in the business, but they are more like a liaison between the central CoE and the business unit and their requirements, right? So all the activities of developing and operationalizing your AI projects is heavily dependent on the CoE itself. Again, you can imagine it's not scalable because you are limited by that limited few of people, right? A more balanced approach is what we call a hub and spoke approach. Let's drill down into this and take a look in more details. The key design principle of this hub and spoke CoE is that you build a cross-functional team within the CoE itself. Not just data scientists, but strategists, analysts, and also some learning and development people that can do enablement as well, right? So you build a cross-functional team for the hub, the CoE hub, and then you kind of centralize capabilities only when necessary. Like, for example, setting strategy, that is a central function, right? Set up an infrastructure and platform, that is a central function. Set up governance, best practices, that is a central function. So you centralize all that within the hub, but you decentralize and you delegate capabilities that you can to the business function. For example, data discovery, right? Who is better than understanding discover data? The business themselves, because they understand it, right? If they were to delegate it to a central team, we could have generated some chart, hand it over to them, and they would have to interpret, right? So you can decentralize and delegate those functions to them. And over time, you build citizen data scientists in the spoke, right? in the spoke itself. So a closer look at a hub and spoke kind of CoE looks like this, right? You have your central team hub, the hub here, that controls, kind of like a control tower, right? And then you have all your business units and function at the satellite, right? So to take an example, the hub will set strategy, they will set the delivery processes, platform governance, right? And also they may build some complex solutions that are cross-functional, right? Whereas the spoke, all the satellites here, all the satellite functions here would then be enabled with citizen data scientists that can do the exploration, the experiment. They can even do ML, machine learning, with visual ML, auto ML, visual agent that you saw earlier, right? So they can build those. An example is if I'm going to finance team, the finance team would then, depending on the different use case and project, spin up agile team. Those are the pod, right? Pod 1 in finance team work on cash flow management. Pod 2 in finance team work on forecasting, right? This is a much better, more balanced, and more scalable model, right? But how do you get there? Rome is not built in one day, or I could say Gangnam is not built in one day, right? So this is an iterative process where you build on the success of the previous phase. I'm going to skip to the next slide, which is more detailed, and give you a roadmap of how this looks like. So to start with, of course, right, you have your CoE hub. They will set the strategy. They will set up the infrastructure itself, right? And they'll then do a lot of the onboarding and training of the business functions. So as an example, they might identify finance, marketing as the key business unit to go first, right? And they have the analytics capability as well. So we will train them. We will give them ongoing support. And we will also even teach them how to ideate use case, how to scope use case, and how to create those data products, right? So you do this bite size. You start with 1, 2 business function, and then when you get this going, you can then start to scale to all other functions, right? And when you are scaling to all other functions, you have more users. This is where you need to have a supportive community within the organization, right? And you need to think about process changes as well. So while central team is setting up the strategy, platform, and all that, and you have all your function starting to onboard, the CoE team can continue to build their core competency, right? They can look at governance, they can look at programs, and this could then slowly roll out to all the other business units as well. Make sense? Okay. So this can be tackled in bite size, right? Some of the key roles that you need in a CoE, of course, you need the head of CoE that set the strategy, overall accountability. You need learning and development, right? You need platform admin to maintain the platform, right? And of course, you also need core team, ML ops, AI ops to help with the process, automation, and operationalization. Okay? So how can Dataiku partner with you to ensure the success in your AI journey? The first one, of course, you have seen our platform, which is very important. Without a collaborative platform, this CoE will not work, right? But beyond the platform itself, we have a blueprint that you saw earlier, the CoE spoke and hub and spoke blueprint that ensure that you have your change management and your transformation journey taken care of in this AI journey. And also, of course, our global professional services organization are tailored to help you in this journey if you need, right? We have tailored services. We have tailored roles like technical account manager that is very strong in infrastructure, data ecosystem, the platform itself. So they can give you technical expert advice. They can work with you on architecture design, right? And they can also transfer knowledge to your architecture and your admin team to continuously manage this platform. And we have data scientists in residence as well. These data scientists are experts in developing models in a Dataiku way, and they can advise you on the best practices. They can enable your team. They can provide coaching session as well, right? So that you are successful. So let's look at an example. GE Aerospace, very large company that produce aircraft engine. They have all the challenges that we mentioned earlier, right? Trust issues, transparency, right? Data issues, for example. So what they did is exactly this hub and spoke concept. They have this thing called a data lake. If you look at what this data lake, it looks like the hub, right? It's a centralized entity that built the common vision, that set the strategy, and execute very complex cross-functional project, right? But they also have the spoke. These are all self-service data initiatives within the business that works on exploring data, creating data product, share and deploy them autonomously, right? And with this model, you could see that they have now like 800 designers across the company. They are working on 2,300 projects. 500 is already in production, right? And to put one of these projects into production is a push of a button, less than 2 minutes. And this has resulted in at least more than $500 million in benefits. Okay? So the call to action is this for everyone, right? You want to go on this journey, you want to go on this journey with us. We have the platform, we have the blueprint, we have the expertise. So we could conduct assessment to look at your capability and then advise what other capabilities that you need to build, right? And we would present a best practices and recommendation for you as well. And of course, we have customer success that will work with you to execute this plan and to ensure that you follow the plan and you achieve the impact and the objective that you want. Okay? All right, so that's all I have. This is the end of the session. Thank you very much. Kamsahamnida.